Right, everybody, it's a little bit of a beauty today. It started off with kind of like a Liverpool tactical recreation. Their season's gone flat, and I thought, let's see what Liverpool could do. They've played this 4-3-3, and it's getting a little bit predictable. What happens if they went to like a 3-5-2? And I had the idea, and it's kind of turned into a wonderful, exciting, goals galore. The transitions, the counter-attacks are absolutely devastating. I am that confident in it that I am going to use this tactic on Saturday night. I am live streaming now on Twitch. Started with a Portuguese club called B-Sad, like the MK Dons of Portugal. I'll leave a little link in the description where you can watch the video on the backstory to the save. Join me at 9 PM where I'll be using this tactic. I'm that confident that I can use it even in the Portuguese second division. Alright guys, let's get into it. As always, the tactic is available for the Patreons. Link down in the description where you get the download, so then you can put it in your tactics folder. If not, don't worry, I will go through all the team instructions, all the player instructions, so you can copy it and put it into your save yourself. Alright guys, smash a like. Let's go. Alright, so the first thing, I'm just going to show you the little simulation that I've done. I kind of think this proves when people come out with these incredible results from their simulations and stuff, I never have such luck. And I'll show you the form that I was in up until the point where I started the simulation. And then you do get some weird results. We've managed to win the league, which is pretty good. So that automatically shows that it's a decent tactic. Bearing in mind that we are playing with a 3 at the back. We lost 4 games. Arsenal 4-3, Man United 5-1, and Manchester City 5-0 and Wolves 1-0. But we were still champions. We've had some good goal contributions as well. Mo Salah 25, Nunes 20, and Cody Gakpo 15 there. They're obviously the front 3. We scored the most goals in the Premier League. Darwin Nunes we got going. Looks like Trent has been absolutely vital on this right-hand side. Andrew Robertson, expected assists, 9.67. He's looked pretty good. Open play crosses as well. Andrew Robertson well ahead of Diogo Dalot in that category. Alright, so that is the little simulation that I've done. I'm pretty confident that if I'd have had time to play through every single game, we'd have broke the 100-point barrier easy, because it is that good. Alright, so this is the start of the season that I did myself. So this is where we are. Obviously, the pre-season is pre-season. I did play a couple of difficult games, Galatasaray, Brighton, but then we played a couple of easier games just to bed us in and to get the tactic going, get that confidence up. Manchester City in the Charity Shield, Community Shield, 3-1. And then we wrapped up wins against Tottenham, impressive away from home, Bournemouth 3-0, Brighton 4-1, Everton 6-0, always good, Leicester 1-0, Chelsea 2-0. Alright, I will show you some goals and some clicks. Like the transitions, boys, are absolutely tremendous. I think with this tactic, you obviously need pace and power, the ability to have your shadow striker to be like that Cody Gakpo type who can transition, can carry the ball from pretty much box to box. But we'll talk about that as we go through the tactics. So as I said, Patreons, you will now have the link. If you go into the Patreon, link down in the description, you'll have it. I'm going to go through everything now for everyone else, so don't worry. Okay, so the idea that I kind of saw with Liverpool is that they've played this 4-3-3, and it's very, yeah, I'll go on the thing of predictable at the moment. They've never really come away from that 4-3-3. They've done a kind of couple of 4-4-2s, and it hasn't really helped them defensively. Obviously, they've got big problems at the back in terms of a lack of form to Kanate, Van Dijk and Matip, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and even Robertson's not having the best of seasons. So I thought that will help us being a little bit more solid, but it will also give Robertson and Alexander-Arnold more scope to get forward. They're the best, probably the creators, expected assists, obviously, for Robertson. So the idea is that we get them into better areas. I'm not digging this inverted wing-back kind of role within Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't really want him in here. I want him out here where he can get the ball and deliver. That's what I want him to do. They've still got, like, obviously we know the midfield needs a lot of work. So what I've tried to do is counteract that with just having 2 sitters. Jordan Henderson, to be fair to him, he's actually quite good in the game and has been getting himself about 14 vision. He's actually played a little bit at right wing back for me as well while Trent was injured. He's done a decent job clipping balls for the front 3 to run onto. And then obviously the front 3, Gakpo, Nunes and Salah. I'm just finding Salah in these positions. He isn't helping Trent out, which isn't obviously helping Trent down this right-hand side. He struggled a little bit this season with kind of his back to goal and not having the best of times on the right-hand side. Obviously, he's aging. What is he, 30 now? He's going to be 31 at the end of the season. maybe it's time to change his role a little bit. So I thought, let's think about bringing him inside. Let's get him up nearer Núñez, who can obviously cause havoc with his pace, his strength, his just general rawness, his work ethic as well. And then have Cody Gakpo, someone who can drift around. He can collect the ball to feet. He can get on the half turn, and he can drive through the middle of the pitch and obviously really help with counter-attacks and transitions, getting the ball, picking the ball up and driving forward with it. He's also got that eye for goal with being a kind of like a second striker. So that was the basis behind it. It is kind of, I've done like a gegenpress style, so we've tried to go back to the old school press. And I think Gakpo and Núñez will be quite obviously good at that. We can get Robertson and Trent up in higher areas as well because they're wing-backs. And as I said, the pressing, the counter-attacks have been absolutely lethal. Right, goalkeeper, sweeper keeper on defend. It is Alisson, no player instructions. I've decided to keep it basic as I can with a lot of these instructions. So Matip, once again, ball playing, just a central defender. What I'm wanting him to do is just do it simple. I think some of them need to go back to basics, Konate in particular as well. And then what we've got is Virgil van Dijk, ball-playing defender on cover. He can be the one that can do the switch passes. But really, we want to get the ball into these wide areas, get it into people's feet rather than just having everyone punt it forward. We've got attacking mentality. We're passing into space. I thought maybe just having them all on ball-playing defender might be a little bit of an overkill. They're not great. Konate's on his left side as well, so not great. Matip's not absolutely amazing with driving forward, so I thought let's just keep it nice and simple. On the right-hand side, I've gone complete wing-back on support for Trent. I don't want him to get into these high areas. He will do, but naturally, I kind of want him to cross from deep. I'm also put complete wing-back on just so he can roam a little bit, have a little bit more fluent, a little bit more of an opportunity just to go inside when he wants. On the other side, I've gone for Robertson. I think he's best when he gets into these areas, in and around the penalty area, and he's going to drill balls across. So I've got him on a wing-back on attack just to give us a nice little variation. Into the sort of like the deep double pivot. Once again, really simple. DM on defend, no player instructions, alongside a deep line playmaker who will get into these areas. I think Jordan Henderson is still classed as a pretty good player in the game, still a pretty good defensive midfielder / deep lying playmaker. And then shadow striker, Cody Gakpo. I kind of thought this role would be good for him. He doesn't say he's well suited to it. He wants to play out on this left-hand side, but he can dribble, he can finish, good first touch. He's got a decent in terms of his physicals. Acceleration is obviously good. Work rate, he can get on the ball. The idea is that he gets on the ball and he drives with it. We've also got Núñez and Salah who will naturally go out. So I thought we need that kind of like attacking presence to burst into the box and to make late runs. Mo Salah, we've got him as an advanced forward, but with the additional instruction of stay wider, he will naturally probably come out this way anyway. But the idea is, once again, we kind of have that split striker scenario where Salah will go out to the right and leave a little bit more space for Gakpo. I said Salah will get in here, then obviously cut balls in, help Trent out a little bit down this right-hand side in terms of balls going into the channel. And then Darwin Núñez, I was going to play him as a target forward because I really like the target forward on the game, but I'm kind of just thinking that, number one, he suits the presser, and also if he is out injured, a Gakpo can go in there, a Firmino or Jota can kind of go in there and do the role as well. All right, so that is the player roles, the PIs. Into the mentality, we've got attacking. I want it quick. I want it pacey. I want it direct to a certain extent. I want us to get balls forward. We're not on about making... I think we'll dominate games because of pressing and playing in someone else's half rather than making sort of like 600, 700, 800 passes. We've gone for shorter passing just so we don't do it over and over. We'll naturally do it anyway because of passing into space and mentality, but I just want us at times to just dominate games. I don't really want them centre-halves just to be punting it or the goalkeeper to be punting it. We can still play through the lines quickly, and I'll show you the highlights in a little bit of how well we've managed to do that. Fairly narrow. I want us to be nice and compact in that middle with that 3 and that 2. We're going to get natural width anyway with the wing-backs. I haven't had a problem with that. My idea is that if we do lose possession, we're in a little bit of a better position with rest defence if we're not spread out all over the pitch. We've got those 2 sitters in front as well. And the idea is that we are lethal in transitions. Higher tempo because it's Liverpool. We want to get back to that, sort of like the early Klopp era when they were press. It has affected fitness, so there's been a lot of rotations, a lot of substitutions. As soon as games were looking like we were winning comfortably, 5 subs on, 5 subs off, just to give us a little bit of a rest. And we've rotated cleverly with sort of like Henderson coming at right wing back, Timikas going on that left-hand side, Firmino doing a shadow striker. So you need a good squad, or at least a squad good enough to sort of like rotate on a regular basis. Not rotate, but do the subs, you know, playing 60 minutes. In particular, if you're playing in the top 5 leagues, up until the World Cup, you have a lot of games, don't you? It's a busy schedule up in Season 1 up until the World Cup. So it's important that you have a decent squad and just rest players when you can. Never time wasting and hit crosses early. I want Robbo, I want Trent putting balls in for either Núñez, Gakpo, Salah to tap on into the fast hit, but we want to encourage crosses into the box. In transition, counter press and counter, we're going at him. We're really going to go for it today. Distribute quickly, something that I don't normally do in the game, but we're doing it and we're rolling it out to the centre half so we can quickly play. Out of possession, I've done the extreme, high press, much higher defensive line that I never do. Prevent short distribution. Just try and encourage the goalkeepers to kick it long because we've got obviously 3 really big centre halves there to win the balls. More often trigger press and everything else is left blank. So there you go. As you can see from the results, it has been a tremendous start. Let's go and see and have a look at some of the highlights. Okay, so we've gone 1-0 down to Manchester City. There was a little bit of panic, but we absolutely turned this game around. So shorter passing, keeping it. Kanate playing it simple. We've got Robbo out here in a nice wing-back on support role. And then we've got the run of Núñez. I think that's what helps with that 2-up. You get to work the channels. I think when you've got that single striker down the middle, it's a lot harder for someone to work the channels. But because there's 2, we've sucked out the right back. It leaves a space for the left forward Núñez to go into. He does really well and he cuts it back. Mo Salah, the other striker. I do love a classic 2-man strike force. And then the second goal is quite similar. We're keeping it, we're patient to a certain extent. We're moving it quickly though, making the right choices, shorter passing. And then when it gets out of this, we're crossing early. Henderson doing my right wing back job because Trent was injured. And then this time we've got the run. It's a double run, so we've even got a 2. We've even got Gakpo started that run late. If we just bring it back, where is Gakpo? There he is. So he'll come out and then he'll spin back in when he gets the opportunity. So he's coming out, and then he turns and he sees the opportunity. I think these runs as well are really important. Very difficult sometimes to defensive midfielders, especially FM, to track. And he gets ahead because of his pace and he absolutely fires it in to get us deservedly into the lead. And then the third goal is once again a similar aspect that we're working at. We've won it back. 3 players surrounding the ball there. Lay it back. It's then just a simple pass. We're lucky, like Manchester City, high line. It gives us the opportunity to get this pace in behind. Mo Salah does really well. And then it's a cross early. Now, the reason why I've got cross early on is because we've got Gakpo, who is obviously a decent size. But the big man, the main man, Darwin Núñez, getting on the end of it and giving us the third goal and making sure that we started the season with a little bit of silverware. We smashed Everton, more importantly as well. It happens very rarely. We had 22 efforts on goal, but Everton didn't even have a shot. They did a 4-4-2 at the time, and we've absolutely ripped them apart. So this is coming from a set piece. Obviously, with the players that we've got in around, Robertson does really well. Núñez finishing. So that was the first goal. Once again, building out from the back, just playing like simple. It's quick, higher tempo, but it's simple. Getting the ball into these front 3. We're dragging their central defenders out. Look, so that's Connor Cody. No way is he going to want to chase Salah in this area. And then he releases Gakpo. Now, if Salah was kind of playing as a wide player, as inside forward, he'd be out here. And I just find he's now causing so much more havoc because he's getting into more dangerous positions. And then once again, Gakpo, late run into the box. Tarkowski can't catch him. And we get ourselves a second goal. The next one's all, once again, press. Takes a lot out of us, which I said, but so be clever with it. Robertson, wing back on attack, because I wanted to kind of vary with, from this side, we're clipping balls into the box quite early. Here, Robertson, wing back attack, he's going to cross from the byline. We've got 3 bodies in there. We've got Salah kind of as the poacher, but we've got 2 units in there. Cody Gakpo and obviously Darwin Núñez. Get a cross in. Easy header for Cody Gakpo. I think the shadow striker as well. When you've got 2 attackers, 2 strikers hitting the penalty area, obviously the central defenders are wanting to mark them. If there's not anyone, and especially in a 4-4-2 like they've got, their 2 central midfielders, account on the edge of the area. Gapco's ghosted in and got a free header from, what, 5 or 6 yards out. All right, so there was a couple of goals in that Merseyside derby. The last ones I'm going to show you is the game against Chelsea. I think it's the second goal, which was my favourite, because at one point it looked like we were going to get countered. So once again, we're in basic possession. Really clever ball. I am enjoying the deep line playmaker on defend, just as a sitter, as a holder. Doesn't venture too far forward like he would obviously in other roles. Sits, so really good in case we get counter-attacked on, but really clever pass into Gapco. He's now got the opportunity to turn, finds Nunez, finds Salah. It's an absolutely wonderful goal. Little dink over the goalkeeper. But this one is my favourite. The next one. So we got a highlight, 74th minute. Now I thought, oh, here we go. We're gonna get a goal here. Terrible throw. And I thought we can get it back, no problem. And oh no, I was starting to panic, thinking they're going to equalise here when they didn't deserve to. He read it all into the penalty box, and then this is where we're lethal. Cody Gapco hasn't tracked back, but we're able now to transition, and now we've got a 3v3. He drives at the heart of the defence, puts in a ball to Salah, and because once again we've got this 2 up front, it gives us the opportunity to do these little sweaty FIFA finishes. Salah would probably have to take an attempt. He would probably most likely score, or at least hit the target, but it just means with that 2 up front, 2 on attack as well. Darwin Nunez has got the easiest tap in to tap it home. It looked like we were going to get countered on ourselves, but we countered the counter and we beat Chelsea 2-0. All right, guys, that is it. As I said, it's probably one of the best tactics that I've put together. Yes, it's Liverpool, but I have done tactical tests with Liverpool before when I thought I had a good idea and it doesn't always work. So I'm really chuffed that it's worked. As I said, happy so much that I'm going to plug it in on Saturday night where I'm live streaming on Twitch. Link down in the description. Starting about 9 o'clock. Second division with Portugal, with a club that absolutely everybody hates. Come and join the fun. Giving out free shirts as well to Twitch subs. So yeah, come and join the party. Saturday night. We'll have a few tinnies. We'll see you there. All right, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you later.